Hello, hello, hello. Well, what can we say? Um, Obviously, I'm going to be talking about the game that just happened, finished a couple of hours ago. Atalanta, Milan, and final result of 2-1 to Atalanta. And I think I think Atalanta did play a better game, so I'll give the result that is deserved. They ended up winning. They got the 3 points at home, um, and they beat a good Milan team that was in a good patch of form. But and we're gonna get into all this right now. I've made a couple of notes here that I want to discuss about the game and the context of the game that I'll get into. But I'll give my opening remarks about the game in general right now. Yeah, tough loss, sucks. As a Milanista, I really did think I thought Milan was gonna win today. I really did. I didn't think that they would have lost, and I didn't think that they were gonna draw. I did think that the momentum that Milan has been feeling the past while, I thought that they were going to capitalize and really show the league, the Serie A, the rest of Italy, that they are going to come back and challenge for the title. Um, with this loss, I wouldn't necessarily completely count Milan out of the title, although it does look very challenging. I think they're 12 points back of now Atalanta moving ahead of Napoli, but Napoli will have a game in hand to play, and Napoli probably win their game potentially or draw, but it'll either be 34 points at the top or 35 points at the top for Napoli, making Milan a back 12 or 13 points or so. So definitely, um, definitely a large margin of separation now from the first place team to Milan, which is like seventh now or something. Milan does have that game in hand against Bologna. Um, but I'm factoring it in as if it was not given to us because it is a game away, which has been Milan's difficulty so far this year. And I'll get into that. Yeah, overall, it is disappointing. As the game was winding down, I did think that it looked like it was going to be a draw. And I think I maybe jinxed myself, but I was not pleased, but also not dissatisfied with the result being 1-1 away to Atalanta, as they've been such a good team, very very solid team right now, in the whole season, and they're second place for a reason. They're doing very well in the Champions League. I mean, guys, in context, they are the reigning Europa League champions, and that is not nothing to snuff about. That is a major trophy. It's not the Champions League, but it's the next best thing to the Champions League in Europe, really. Um, and Atalanta competed in it last year. They went up against the undefeated Leverkusen and beat them, and they've been on a tear, right? I think their form going into this game is 9 games undefeated, and it's really a testament to how good Atalanta is right now. So I'm going to park that right there and just talk about the gameplay itself. The scoring gets opened by the Ketelar, of course. Everyone that plays against Milan formerly played for Milan, scores against us. You know, Maldini scores against us, and now the Catalar scores against us. It seems as though um, we want them to score against us. Like, why would we want you to play for us and score for us when we bring you to Italy from Belgium and you're a nobody, and a year and a half later you're on the Europa League winning Atalanta team and scoring a goal against us and winning the game and going to the top of the league? Why wouldn't that be in the recipe for disaster against Milan? Because that's par for the course. You know, our management just doesn't seem to click. I don't see why they couldn't have kept the Ketelar. He played literally one season, and what did you expect him to do in one season? Um, Really disappointing. I think they should have kept him because who do we have in place of him? You know, Jovic is in the stands. Um, I think he would have been more useful than Loftus-Cheek and other players on the midfield. It's disappointing. It is disappointing because I think, you know, an attacking phase of Milan showing Morata, Leao, De Ketelaere, and Pulisic with Tijani Reinders and Fofana. That's pretty good, guys, right? Um, but history happens the way it does, and we are where we are. And where we're at is another loss. So the game goes on, and Milan does get back in the game. A brilliant run from Leao. He beats his man and brings in a great cross that Morata just cleans up and puts it home. I was really impressed, actually, with that sequence. Leao showcasing his speed, that's nothing new. And just understanding that at that moment where he got into close to the 6-yard box, he probably couldn't have shot and scored, and rather have just dinging it over or out for a no corner or whatever. He does the right decision and he crosses it low far post, and he sees Morata, and Morata just, you know, he eats that up as he should, right? That's exactly what Morata is here to do, and he earned his paycheck on that goal, right? Aside from that goal, I really think that the team offensively didn't provide much. We didn't really give much chances to score. And although that one goal kind of came out of nowhere, you're not going to win a game relying on goals coming out of nowhere, right? You have to have constant attempts, play the ball, keep attacking and dominating the game. And we really were not doing much offensively. We had a lot of play behind and in and around the midfield, but our offense today was just really lacking. And I think it unfortunately kind of played into the fact that Pulisic wasn't on point today and then ultimately got subbed off. So I don't know if he kind of was playing with a knock earlier on in the game, and then eventually when he got that second one that got him took him off, he kind of really was out of it and he couldn't continue. But really, once he gets out of the game, our offense is really struggling, really struggling. Loftus-Cheek can't create, guys. And Fofana is not a playmaker. Tijani Reinders was not having the best of games today. I think he did fairly okay. I think the midfield did fairly okay, but we need a playmaker. And Musa, I really commemorate Musa's work rate in the game today, but I just don't see where's it going, right? Like, you want your players working hard, but to a goal, to an end goal, assists, goals, attempts, shots on target, and ultimately winning the game. Musa put in a great game's shift, but ultimately it didn't really provide much impact. And I find we have a lot of players that are really giving their all, but it's not impacting the game. And that's not a good place to, that's not a place I want to explore. I want players that are putting in their work and we're getting results out of it. So that's really disappointing. And I think it was strange that I really don't know what's happening. I think this could have been a game that Chukwueze should have started. I don't know the thought process to have Musa start the game. Um, I'm not sure, guys. Really poor defensive, a poor offensive phase. Looking back on the defense is what it is. Nothing great, nothing special. Again, I'm missing Theo Hernandez from a couple of years ago that would do those offensive runs, that would incorporate when the offense is not on their game for some portion of the games. Theo Hernandez would come in and have some runs, have some attempts, shoot the ball on target, but that seems to be a player that is no longer on Milan. That player is gone. I don't know where he went. Um, it's disappointing. Um, and then Emerson Royale is doing what he can. The second goal, far post, I think he was late to getting it, and Lookman is a poacher. He's gonna bury those loose balls dropping to the far post, open net. He's gonna bury that, and he did. So I don't get how. And then the first goal was also on a set piece corner. De Ketelaere towering over Theo Hernandez. Our wing backs are not good on defense, guys. Simply put, our two wing backs were at the far post where we got scored on. Theo Hernandez is not a top defender, and neither is Emerson Royale. And I say top defender as in actual defense. Not their whole game. Theo Hernandez is still one of the best overall wingbacks, although I think he's kind of dropped down in the pecking order as of recently, but he's still overall better than most. Although I just wish he would really incorporate a better defensive game, because he does play wingback. You have to defend, right? That's your primary responsibility. Emerson Royale, I mean, these players, I don't know what they're doing. What do they bring to the team? I liked Gabi on defense. Malik Chow got me a bit panicky at some points. And I don't understand where's Tamori. I think our best defensive pairing is Tamori and Gabia. They're clearly the better defenders, and I think they pair best with each other because Tamori likes to pinch and Gabia is a bit of a stay-at-home defender. So they complement each other well. Malik Chow, I think, does some things very recklessly and is unlucky in some instances. So although the defense, losing a game 2-1 on both goals being corners, I would like those back, at least one of them. And if you don't get scored on any goal, if you don't get scored any goal on a corner, we win the game 1-0. Away at Atalanta, who is on a great run of form and second place in the league. That's a result, guys. That's what you're supposed to do. That's a title contending team. But Milan is not that. It's evident that we are not a title contending team, and it's really sad. It's disappointing in the year that their 125 anniversary. How are they not in a better position right now? And I'll tell you how in a minute. It's really disappointing how they're not getting the results. They're not getting the results that they should, when they should. And now they lost to Atalanta. Fonseca gets a C. I think he gets a C. I don't think he had the tactics right today, and I don't think he had the right team out. You can say that, who else are we going to put? Morata did score, but You know, we need to find a right winger, guys. We need to find a right winger, or at least change the formation where we're not playing with a right winger. If Morata's our striker, can we keep Leao on the wing and have you know, 3 behind Morata rather than, you know, the 4-4-3-3? I don't like us playing this way where we're so reliant on winging, and Leao gets beat, or not beat, but he gets covered very easily. And once Leao gets covered, Morata has to get the ball because he's not getting it from the wings. And our right wing is a no-show. Leao gets covered. What's Morata going to do? He's going to drop in. He's dropping in. We don't have the midfield talent to do these tiki-taka plays. We just simply don't do it. We can't do it. Morata thinks he's on Team Spain. He's coming in, making a ding pass, which he's actually pretty good at, and sometimes it works. Most often it doesn't. Most often it doesn't, guys. And I just wish that we had some more coordination in the middle of the field. Sorry, guys, for the ring. Anyways, yeah, it's not Team Spain. We are the furthest thing from Team Spain, and it's disappointing. Now, where does this leave us? Where does this leave us? This leaves us a far place away from first place and another loss. So this is our 4th Serie A loss. I have some statistics I want to break down for you guys. 4th Serie A loss. Out of our season so far, we've had 6 losses. We've been beat 6 times across all competitions, which is only the 2, and we played 1 Copa game this week, but really it's one. Thankfully we didn't lose that one, guys. Thankfully we did not lose against Sassuolo earlier this week. Oh my gosh. Would have been very bad. But let's keep it to what we got. So 6 losses, 2 in the Champions League, Liverpool at home, Leverkusen away, and then the 4 Serie A losses, to Napoli at home. And look at this, guys. 3 of the 4 Serie A losses Milan has taken have been away to rubbish. Fiorentina away, loss. Atalanta today, away, loss. Parma, earlier in the season, away, loss. What else? There's another one I'm missing. Anyways, it just shows that our 4, and then we got the draws. So we have Lazio away, draw. Cagliari away, draw. Juve home, draw. Torino home, draw. Oh, Bologna is away, but we didn't play the game, and luckily we didn't play the game because we probably maybe we lose that game, and that's another away game, guys. The only away game we won in the Serie A, well, we played Inter. Technically, was the away game, but it's at San Siro, so that's a one-off, and that's the Inter game. I'm putting it in a box, and I'm going to talk about it in a second as a one-off. Monza, guys. Monza. We beat Monza away. 1-0. And if anyone remembers that game, we barely won. From the skin of our teeth. Guys, we have bad away form. Bad away form. I apologize, guys. I made an error here. So we have 4 Serie A losses. One of them is at home to Napoli. And then the 3 away are Parma, Atalanta, and Fiorentina. Okay. Okay. Bologna away is postponed. So count it or don't count it. But it's a factor. And then we have draws, Lazio, Cagliari, Juve, Torino. Now, the other thing I wanted to touch upon is the fact of who we're losing to, who we're dropping all these games to. Points lost against Fiorentina, they're top of the league. Points lost against Atalanta today, they're top of the league. Points lost to Lazio, they're ahead of us, top of the league, 6th or 5th in the league, right? Top of the league, lost points to them. Juve, ahead of us, lost 2 points to them, drew. Guys, even if Milan draws the game, we lose 2 points. A loss is 3 points lost, and a draw is 2 points lost. They're only a difference of 1. It's not good to draw games and to lose games. We're doing both. We're doing both. Milan is doing both. And it's why we're so far ahead, so far away. We are nowhere ahead. We are very far away. It's frustrating. The draw against Cagliari, which we barely drew, we almost lost that one too, but that's only a 1-point difference, right? Torino, we draw against them earlier in the season. What was it, game 1? That was a crazy first game of the season. Of course, 2-2 draw against Torino, 2-2 draw against Cagliari, 0-0 against Juve. Just really bad results, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 or so results that and I can't even I'm not even upset about the teams we're playing that we're getting these points lost to, because these are good teams. All these teams are ahead of us, guys. They're all ahead of us. They're all doing better than Milan, and they're beating us, getting points off us. Right? We drew Lazio, they're ahead of us. We lost to Parma, okay, they're behind, and Cagliari, they're behind, they drew. Torino as well. Only those 3 teams are behind us, but really, they're kind of not that far. They're really not that far from Milan. We're on the cusp. Once you get out of where we are, Udinese is right behind us, and we barely beat them. We were actually probably shouldn't have beat them. That was a really fortunate result. And then everyone's right beside each other, right? Fiorentina is playing amazing. They beat us. Atalanta is playing amazing. They beat us. Napoli is playing amazing. They beat us. Lazio is playing amazing. They beat us. Or they drew us. And Juve is playing better than us, and they drew us too. We only got better against Inter, guys. Which is fantastic. I was so happy to be Inter, guys. I was thrilled. And we had to be Inter, because we were on a 6-game straight losing streak that we had to beat them. And we did. But I feel like the derbies are a one-off. Milan versus Inter in particular. I don't really count Juve. I really want to beat Juve all the time because I can't stand them. But it's not the same against Milan versus Inter. I really don't like Inter. There's the real rivalry there. But everyone else is just having really good seasons. And I'm beginning to realize, guys, that although I don't think the Milan team that we have right now is bad, but there's better teams. There's clearly many 5 or 6 or 7 better teams than us in the league. Right now, at least, in the form and the results. Show it. I think Napoli is a better team than us. I definitely think Atalanta is a better team than us right now. Fiorentina as well is a better team than us. And maybe Inter is as well, guys. Because those are the 4 teams right now, Napoli, Atalanta, Fiorentina, and Inter, that are taking it. And then you have Lazio and Juve also had to get ahead of us. All of those teams took points away from us. Whether it's a loss or a draw. 3 points lost, 2 points lost. And the only silver lining is that we beat Inter, which it barely affected them because they're already neck and neck with first place. So it barely didn't even matter. You guys understand that? Our highlight of the season barely affected our city rivals' season. That's pathetic. It's terrible. And I'm glad we beat them. But it's still not a good circumstance for Milan right now, where we're at in the season. I don't know, guys. This is disappointing. I don't know where we're going to go from here. Obviously, you can't do nothing about it. The game's done, and they move on to Red Star next week in the Champions League. You know, hopefully they have better luck, and then they're back at it in 10 or 9 days of so against I believe it's next team is Hellas or Genoa, one of those two, I believe. But I mean, guys, it's disappointing because now we've played the first round of match because you play each team obviously twice a year. So we played Juve, lost 2 points. We played Napoli, lost 3 points. Played Fiorentina, lost 3 points. Played Atalanta, lost 3 points. Played Lazio, lost 2 points. So everyone ahead of us, we're not playing again until the second half of the season, months from now. Okay? And so we have to wait. We have to hope that they all lose points. We gain more points. And when we play them again, we have to beat them to make it even. So our entire season now relies on the top teams that have taken points away from us to lose points. And we have to, along the way, not lose any more. Further, we can't have Cagliari episodes again or Torino episodes and Parma episodes again. Those cannot happen the whole rest of the season. It's very difficult right now the way Milan has put themselves in this position. And I really think the management underestimated the quality of the league right now. You know, at the end of last season, Italy, Serie A, took over Spain as the number 2 league in Europe in terms of coefficients. And that means the quality is risen. We have like so a half dozen teams in all of Europe. The most in Europe out of all the countries. We have the most teams across the Conference League, Europa, and Champions League. I wish the management would have saw the writing on the wall and said, look, the league's getting a bit more competitive now. It's not what it's been the last decade of just Juventus winning every year and Napoli and Roma just coming up runners-up every Lazio, Coppa Italia or whatever. It's completely different now, guys. The league is completely different. And for a good reason. It's good. We have to have competition. We were going crazy with Juve winning every year. I hated that. It was not good for the league. And the quality of the teams were very bad. But now it's back to being competitive. And it's not going to be simple to win. You need to build good teams and good starting teams and reinforcements, substitutes, reserves, youth players coming up. A good coach. One that I really don't even know if Milan got a good coach. I'm so on the fence of Fonseca. I don't know whether it was a good or not signing. Because the only games I'm proud of this year are the Inter win and the Madrid win. Madrid win more, but Inter we had to beat them, and it was die hard. We had to beat them. But the Madrid win really shocked me a month ago, and I was so surprised and so happy that day to be a Milanista. And to look at a month later, we've had one loss today. It's good in a sense in the big picture that we haven't lost since our game at home to Napoli and now away to Atalanta. So our last 2 losses have been to the first and second place team. Okay. But it's everything prior, right? Baked into the cake. And a lot of it is because the team was not prepared earlier on in August and September and October for the season. And who's responsible for that? I don't know. But if we just look at it like the loss against Napoli, lose 3 points, and today against Atalanta, lose 3 points, that's 6 points. I think we may even be able to survive with that. I think if everything goes to plan before, And it's a long shot that you win all those other games, but I think they should have. You know, you start your season, Torino, Parma, and Lazio. That should have been 3 wins. I'm sorry. We got 1 point or 2. Yeah, was it 2 points out of those 3 games? 2 points out of 9 to start the season. We should have got 9 for 9. And then you go into Inter and you beat Inter. So our whole season right now, what we're feeling and the lack of the points is because of the results earlier on. Then you start drawing it. You lose against Fiorentina. You draw against Cagliari and Juve. You get the game postponed against Bologna. It adds up. It adds up quick. And that's it. But the closing remarks, I'm going to leave on the positive of the fact that prior to today's loss against Atalanta, who deserves it, and they're in first place for a reason, Milan was on a 7-game unbeaten streak, okay, with only 2 draws in that span, in all competitions. Beat Madrid, you know, we beat a couple of we got some good wins in the Champions League, and we're doing good in Champions League right now. Majority of the games we've won, but the first 2 we lost. But yeah, so 7 games unbeaten since we lost to Napoli and lost today, and it's okay, it's good. I think it would have been better. Those 7 games unbeaten would have been better had we gotten the wins against Cagliari and Juve along the stretch. And it was a clean winning streak all the way through. But an unbeaten streak is good in terms of team morale. But again, it starts back in on next Wednesday, guys, when we go to Red Star. It's back up, and they got to keep going throughout to the end of the year, the whole rest of the month. The whole rest of the month and into the new year. We gotta keep it going, and I'm interested to see what happens now, because the top teams in Serie A we've all played. All the Serie A teams are playing left until the league flips over to the second half. Are all going to be the lower half teams, and I think this is when the show happens, right? This is when we're really going to see can we muster something for before the second half. And that's it, guys. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Forza Milan. Until next time. Ciao.